It's attitude, not aptitude, that determines altitude. You have your role, do your role. Know and do your job. My job is this: A, my assignment. B, I have to know what you're doing. I have to know what he's doing. I have to know what coverage we're in. I have to know what they're trying to do to me. I have to know how he's trying to come. All these things you have to synthesize and put into single thoughts as the game is going on. You have to find a way to win.
Yes.
That's the whole piece.
Yep.
And once you get that piece, then it's fun.
What's up, Raider Nation? We back. I'm your host, Baron Davis. Today, we are so lucky and honored to have a 4-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl champ with the Raiders, drafted by the Raiders, Raider legend, linebacker, Mr. Dr. Mean, Matt Millen.
Sorry. My pleasure to be here.
Drafted as a rookie by the Raiders.
Right.
Win a championship. Rookie season. What was that like coming into the league?
Well, because I had no idea about the National Football League, I thought everybody did that. So it was my rookie year. The Raiders hadn't had a very good season the year before. They made a lot of changes. And one of the changes was adding me to the mix. And it was, and we had a great year.
Yeah.
But I think what we lacked early, we made up in about mid-season, which was confidence. And I think a confident team, that's the whole difference. And a lot of that had to do with I was the only rookie playing, but you kind of
that's big time.
Oh yeah, it was, but it had its moments, because there are times when you had to say, we may have done it that. I'm not doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're doing. By the mid part of the season, we knew we were a good football team. By the end of the season, we were a confident team. And going into the playoffs, it worked out really well for us.
Yeah. Plunkett.
His journey is phenomenal. Because, he's the number one player drafted. They beat the living snot out of him up in New England. He had nothing in front of him or help. And when he came here, that was pure Al Davis. And he saw a lot in Plunk, and Plunk got his confidence back. And then that year, when he got his chance, he didn't let it go again. I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy winner for a reason.
Yeah.
And so, threw a great long ball, real smart, made great decisions. Hey,
yeah,
we won Super Bowls.
And what was the attitude of the defense like? Talk about coming in. You're making all these all these changes are happening. You're a part of, once again, a new regime,
right?
Like we're saying now. What was how did the defense, what was the journey or the story of the defense?
Yeah, that's a good question because it had to coalesce. So I think the biggest thing was we didn't have, so Ted Hendricks was probably the leader of that defense in terms of experience and in terms of how he played. He was, he's an all-pro, perennial all-pro. And then Lester Hayes came out with a unbelievable year that, it was ridiculous. I forget how many interceptions he had on the season. I think it was like 13 or something like that. And that but he also had 4 other picks that went back for touchdowns that that got wiped out because of penalties.
Yeah.
So the year that he had was just ridiculous. So I think every year that you go to a Super Bowl, everybody plays with a high level of confidence. Everybody. We didn't gain our confidence level to probably mid-season. And then there's always 2 or 3 guys that have career years. And that was one of the judges. Lester had we called him the judge.
Yeah.
And so he was, I'll tell you a funny story. He'd be in the locker room and we'd say, all right, Judge, what do we got? Because maybe we're playing San Diego and we're covering some great receivers. And he'd get up in the locker room and he'd go, I sentence him to 3 catches. and so we'd all laugh, make, like you do. And he would go out and he'd hold him to 3 catches. It was unbelievable. And so I just had a great amount of respect for the judge. And he's a Hall of Fame player as well.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of guys like that. We had some guys who just, we coalesced, group came together.
Mm-hmm.
We won games we probably shouldn't have against San Diego. They were probably a better team than us, but Al Davis built us to compete with them.
The end is near, baby.
Talk about that Raider attitude. Talk about, that Raider way. An Al Davis story that you were like, okay, we're different than everyone else.
Yeah, so at that time, I think we were still trying to prove we were different than everybody else, but we really didn't have to because we were different. Yeah. And it was a different way of doing things. And so you came out to Oakland and all he cared about was just play. All he wanted to do was win. If that meant, you got into a couple of fights, what did he care? Yeah. And back then, they weren't as eager to throw the flag as they are now.
Yeah.
So
they let you brawl a little.
They let us play, and when they let us play, they let you play.
Yeah.
But we were the right team for that time. It was we weren't trying to be the old school Raiders. We just were. We had some real characters.
Yeah.
Like Ted Hendricks was maybe the smartest player I've ever played with. Really smart. But he would do things his own way. John Matuzak, who knows? Tuz is gone, but Tuz was, you never knew what to expect.
Right.
But then we also had some guys like people forget about, like Bobby Chandler was unbelievable receiver we got from Buffalo, and he was doing the same thing in Buffalo, but nobody heard of him. We brought him to the Raiders, and he had a phenomenal year. We got Cedric Harbin from San Francisco as a pass rusher. He was great. He was a good force. He actually helped Howie along a lot. Howie wasn't there that first year, but he helped Howie a lot in bringing him along.
That's good.
But Cedric was just one of those calming guys. Like, he'd just go, "Hey, be cool." That's it. And he had a great voice. It was an enjoyable time to play because we were all on the same page and we all knew what it took, and then we got it done.
And rule number 1,
cheating is encouraged. Rule number two? See rule number 1. That was right when you walked into our locker room up in Santa Rosa. There it was, stood right up on top. I was like, okay, I understand. But really, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
What that tells you is find a way to win.
Yes.
Okay, if you got to bend the rule a little bit, if you get caught, it's on you.
Yeah.
If you don't get caught, do it again.
The more you can get away with, the more advantageous it is for you, for the team. And, games sometimes are decided by a field goal or a touchdown. And, that margin for error.
Oh, it's so small.
It's so small.
In every sport.
Mm-hmm.
At the highest level, we laugh about it, cheating is encouraged, but really we're always pushing you're always pushing. If you're not pushing the edges,
yeah,
you're not playing hard. And so that's just the way it is. Like they would, so one of the things I would do is, I was a head butter. I was a classic head butter, but then I'd go to the throat all the time. At that time, they let you alone with that.
Yeah, they let you.
So, but you can control somebody by the throat. Just let me tell you. And so it was very effective. Every now and then an official would say, "Hey, Matt, watch your hands, Matt." And I go, "Okay, gotcha, thanks." Like I'm going to watch my hands. But that's the way the game was played. And so I wasn't the only one doing it. It was being done everywhere. So
yeah, you
just find a way to win.
Yeah, that's ultimately like, you want the advantage.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And being a linebacker, seeing the linebackers we have now, right? If you can walk them into your locker room and say, "Hey, this is what I want you guys to see." And the old Matt could be in front of, this new linebacking core, what would that intro be?
Yeah, so it's interesting. That's a great question because I don't believe that style of play fits into this kind of football.
Yep.
Although we do have a guy, Landon Roberts. Yeah, he will smack you. He's been my favorite guy to watch right now. Right?
Where is it?
And I don't know how tall he is, but he doesn't look very tall. But he plays with great leverage, and man, when he sees it, he believes his eyes. That's really important for young linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys will see it, they don't believe it. You got to believe it and understand exactly when that guy does this and this guy does this, bang, you got to hit it.
You gotta go.
And so he's been doing that.
Yeah.
I've been watching the tape and watching the game like that guy's going to have some great collisions. Here's the problem. Nobody's going to know it. The only guys who are going to know it is going to be his teammates.
Yeah.
Because most people would have no idea what they're looking at. So, but I'm impressed with him.
Yeah, a great Al Davis story.
Oh, there's a million of them. What do you want? I can tell you all kinds of stuff from my first contract. My first contract, I had no idea, and so he dangled the highest sign. He didn't tell me what it was. I'm going to give you the highest signing bonus in the history of the second round. And I was like, well, I'm going to get the best signing bonus ever. And it was $100,000. And he signed me to a 5-year deal. I was like, hey, I thought because I have a 5-year contract, I'm going to be here for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
I had no idea about it. And then the USFL came in, it changed everything. I went from, so my fifth year, I was making $99,000.
Wow.
And the whole league just blew up when the USFL came in. But Al he knew our team. He knew what pieces he had to keep. And so when he signed me to my second contract, it was a big contract. When I thank us, Mr. Davis, thank you so much. And he said to me, oh, I'll get you back, you bastards. I guess that's the way it goes.
He won a win.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
Yep. Later on, years later, of course, when I was in Detroit and I would meet him at all the, when everybody gets together at the season, the coaches meetings, not coaches meetings, but we'd have the executives and all stuff. And I would always sit with him. He was always ahead of everybody else. He would always be asking questions like here's the agenda. This is what they're going to talk about. He wanted to talk about how are we getting out of this? This is going to turn into this problem. How are we going to handle that? He was always thinking ahead all the time. And at the end, he was, he had a walker and it was hard to watch, but I miss him.
Yeah, he's a great one. He's the legend.
He was a piece of work, let me tell you.
He's the attitude.
And of course,
he's the attitude.
Yeah,
right?
and
he's the aura, the attitude.
John Madden's the other one I miss. Coach Madden.
Yeah.
I got to know very well. And we would get on the bus with John, and my wife would load us up with food in Pennsylvania, and we'd eat to about Chicago, and then we'd fart to California.
Love it. Yeah, great times. I think, when we talk about, football times, you were saying football times when you played versus now is totally different.
It's different.
Are there any similarities? I mean,
there's a lot.
The game is the game with the knowledge and
sure.
But do you see any outside of E-Rob, right? Do you see any other people that kind of fit into this old school mentality?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the answer is all of them would fit because they'd have to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way the game's being played, then you play that way, right? But if the game's being played this way with these rules and you can't hit this guy this way and you can't do this and you can't do that, then you have to play the game that way.
You have adjusted.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean, you you know the old rule: if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah.
So you're always going to try those, right? You're going to see, what do I get away under these rules?
Mm-hmm.
But guys would adapt.
It would.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I always say that because, it's like generational talent transcends any generation.
Oh, anytime.
But you still have to do the work.
Right.
Right. You still have to have the knowledge. And then you have to find, it's all about the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, looking at your career, 4-time Super Bowl champ, 3 different teams, 2 with the Raiders, right? Coming into the Raiders, you were the mold as like this new regime.
I thought I was moldy. I just. So
but
it's
you like to
interesting.
hit. You like to hurt people.
Well, if you don't enjoy hitting somebody, you shouldn't be here. It's the wrong place, especially at that time. That time in the league, they let you be really physical. That's why I like Roberts. I mean, he's a physical kid, man. And there's a lot of guys who I played with who are the one who jumps off the charts for me is Ronnie Lott. And of course he came here and played with the Raiders. And Ronnie was one of those guys. He loved to be physical. When I got there, I knew him before, and but he took me. He was like, "Come on in. We need this. We don't have this."
Yeah.
And I gave that to them, and so that was a good marriage between the two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? Tell me the story around you and the GM.
Well, that's just it's kind of turned into, oh, you're the guy who punched the owner in the mouth. Yeah, sorry about that. So it was really a weird. So I used to walk off the field all the time with Howie Long.
Yeah.
That was what we always did.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're walking off the field, and we just get beat. We should not have been beaten. That was a New England team that was not as good as us.
Yeah.
And we're walking off the field. I wasn't in the best of moods. And this guy jumps up into Howie's face. I never saw him before in my life. And he jumps up in Howie's and he starts chirping at Howie. And then these guys grab Howie. 2 guys, one guy grabs Howie's one arm, one guy grabs the other arm. Then he jumps right up in front of him and he starts screaming at him.
Yeah.
And I'm walking there, I'm like, oh, no. And so I just reached over and snatched him by the back of the head, shook his head through him, and he got up and swung at me. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
And so then I smacked him, and John Hanna grabbed me. He goes, Matt, what are you doing? I was like, who's that guy? Yeah. So then I came to the locker room. I came into the
hero.
Nobody said anything. I came into the locker room, and Al Locasal comes up to me and he goes, Matt, you might want to get a lawyer for this. I said, for what? Some guy comes out of the stands and I smack him. What's the deal? He goes, he was the general manager. I was like, oh my God. Got to be kidding me. I couldn't believe it. But so let me tell you what nobody knows, okay? What nobody knows is I had to go into the league. I had to do all kinds of stuff. And yes, they fined me. They fined me $50,000, of which Al Davis paid the entire thing. Yeah. He didn't bat an eyelash.
Blink. Yeah.
He's like, here, yeah, we'll take care of that.
If you can impart to the fans what you would want for them, the energy or what to expect from, this new regime, this new linebacking core, this new defense, like what would, from what you've seen and, so far.
Yeah, good question. So take a good look at Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what happens, your team takes on the persona of its leader.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete right now is leading.
Yeah.
And Pete I don't believe he's ever had a day where he's not had energy.
Yeah.
He is one ball of positivity. Even when he's correcting,
yeah,
it's like a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done it before. He's failed before. He's had success before. He knows how to have success. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
In order to have success, you have to stumble at times. And he did stumble early. and now he's got it down. He knows what he's looking for. He understands exactly the pieces of the puzzle. I don't know if they're all here yet, but a lot of them are. And so I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be one of those seasons similar to my rookie year, as opposed to 83. In 83, that team knew they were good.
Yeah.
And we were really talented.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the few teams where you'd get in the game and I'd say, okay, hey, we got to go now.
And they can turn it up.
Everybody would turn it up. I used to think back in 1983, hey, we could do this all the time. You can't. It's a rare team that can do that. And that team could do it, but it was very, very skilled. I don't think this team is as skilled as that team, but there are players who can get the job done.
Right.
A lot of them, the people aren't going to know who they are. They're going to know them as the season goes on.
As the season goes on.
And don't forget this one. This is a big piece of the puzzle. It's attitude, not aptitude.
Right.
That determines altitude. How you think and the attitude that you're bringing every day, it's got to be a positive, which Pete, that's Pete. And it's got to be an understanding. You have to be smart. There's a lot of things that go into that. But if you're willing to work and you put the work in, what comes out of it is going to be, you're just going to keep on taking steps. You have your role, do your role. Know and do your job, right? So that's a simple phrase, but what it says is, when you say know your job, you're saying my job is this. A, my assignment. B, I have to know what you're doing. I have to know what he's doing. I have to know what coverage we're in. I have to know what they're trying to do to me. I have to know how he's trying to come, how he's going to try to play against me.
Right.
All these things you have to synthesize and put into single thoughts as the game is going on. It's not going to be the way I can sit there and watch as much tape as I want. And when I start to dominate a player, because I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
When I start dominating a guy going against me, the good ones can adjust.
Yeah.
The great ones can adjust fast. And now you have to be able to do the same thing.
Right.
And so, some guys you have to deal with are smart. They have great hips. Some guys are just powerful. Some guys are a combination of that. Some guys they just have everything.
Yeah.
The it. You're right. Yeah, and you've been there. You understand that. You have to find a way to win.
Yes.
That's the whole piece.
Yep.
And once you get that piece, then it's fun.
Love that. Coming from the legend, Raider legend, championship pedigree. I appreciate you, for sharing those stories. Want to have you back, share more stories.
They'll get really good then.
We all love you. We all respect you. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. I play football, so that's all I wanted to do is hit people. That's all I wanted to do is take their head off.
You got the right hat on.
Yes.
That's exactly what we need.
That's why, yeah.